After a very long time, we have finally got a good volume of One Punch Man. With saying that, One Punch Man Volume 26 is here at last. And what do I mean by it's the first good one in a very long time? Well, in my opinion, from Volume 20 and onwards, the storyline has kind of dipped a bit in my opinion. I know that we've been having this big Monster Association versus Hero Association war underground, but a lot of the fights do feel very dragged out and not really as good as they were in the webcomic. With the only exception of being Atomic Samurai versus Black Sperm, that's like the only battle I've really enjoyed so far in this arc, in my opinion. All the others have kind of been meh, but finally I'm pretty confident to say this is a very good volume and I really have enjoyed this one. Like, it's been a very long time since I've enjoyed reading this manga. So with saying that, I'll be going through all my points and views while going through this volume. So anyway, here's the front cover. So we've got Tatsumaki and Psychos. Here's the back cover. So we have Saitama, Flash Flash and Manako, a new character introduced in this volume. And here's the extended front cover bottom. Honestly, I do think this bottom cover art should have just been the entirety of the volume cover art, because I've noticed a lot of volume covers have just been white backgrounds with an image on when we used to get so many cool artworks for the back images. So that is a kind of a complaint for me, and considering as a lot of this is Garo versus Darkshine, one of the best fights ever in the series, I honestly think that Garo and Darkshine should have got a bit more featured on this cover over Tatsumaki and Psychos, or even on the back here. Like, sure, this fight does happen, but it also happens later on, which could have been, I don't know, on a different cover. I guess they were just trying to show this new character on the cover art for some reason. And you know, anime and manga always sell well with big-breasted women. And here's the side. We've got Psychos on the side there. And here's the extended side with Manako taking a bath, which is also seen here at the very back in black and white. So here we have the author's notes from One and the artist's notes from Yusuke Murata, with the fictional character's message. A good picture of Garo because we're finally getting him back. We have not seen much of him since volume 19, so it's been at least 7 volumes since we've got any Garo action. Got the characters, and I really do like all the characters listed. It's like a fighting game. And Psychos is question mark because technically we haven't met her in the story at this point. And here's the chapters list. Oh yeah, and I have noticed there is no adverts at the back like there used to be. I think this can be a permanent change, which I do not mind at all. So, the first chapter picks off from the last volume where Child Emperor was freezing evil natural water. Sludge Jellyfish comes in and wants revenge, but then evil natural water basically absorbs all of his oil because oil has a lower freezing point than water. And he basically managed to get out of the freezing ice and starts to defeat Child Emperor. Yeah, evil natural water is really, really powerful. And we get a little bit of a rundown of Genos here. We get all the dragon level threats and what they can do. And it's good to see Genos back in action. And then we get more of Saitama and Flash Flash, with the introduction of Manako here. And she basically becomes their hostage / tour guide and travels around with them for the entirety of the volume. And I will say this is like new manga stuff. Like, in the original webcomic, Saitama and Flash Flash did travel under the Monster Association base together and get lost, but I really do like all the new stuff they go through together. It's just so fun to read. And this is a nice little transition to how they were originally classed as A, B and C, and all the original rankings for the S-class heroes, and how they become Class S eventually by creating the S-class. And then it transitions quite nicely into the outcome for all the Class S heroes battles where they've all been defeated, where Pig God is defeated by Gums, Atomic Samurai is defeated by Black Sperm, Zombie Man's basically been defeated by Homeless Emperor, Child Emperor has been defeated by Natural Water, Putty Putty Prisoner was basically taken down by Garo. Even though he's not a Class S hero, My Mask has been defeated by Fura Ugly. And it really goes to show how powerful all these dragon level monsters are. Like in typical shonen manga and anime, the heroes always defeat like the villains when they split off and like do their 1v1s, but this manga here, I really do like how all the monsters are defeating the heroes here. But then they build up Tatsumaki like to be this unbeatable Class S hero, because she technically is. But yeah, she's the only one who's not been defeated. But yeah, she's the only one in the 1v1s who hasn't been defeated yet. And yeah, we get a good introduction to Psychos down at the bottom of the Monster Association base. Then Rover shows up and goes up against Bang and Bomb. You really get to see how really amazing they are, like as martial artists, like they're just on a completely other level. But yeah, they managed to defeat Rover and tell him to sit. I feel like it's because of Saitama, like he just remembers Saitama's sit, like that big punch. And that just kind of nailed it in for him. But yeah, this is like new manga stuff here, but I really do like Saitama's minecart adventures with Manako and Flashy Flash. It's like a fair ride, going down a roller coaster, pictures taken of them. It's just really fun stuff to read through. We get all this cool stuff about the underground mines and all this other stuff. And Flash finally gets to see Saitama's abilities and he's just impressed, but he also just can't believe his eyes. But yeah, more of that happens and Saitama basically takes out all the monsters, gets a hole in his cape. And then more classical faces from Saitama. More Psychos, we get a good dragon level threat introduction to her as well. And then finally we get to Garo versus Darkshine, one of my favourite fights in the One Punch Man series. Like, just look at this, it's so cool. So we first off get a good start into it with Garo being in a sleep state, but then he wakes up and he comes back to his normal senses. And then this is where the real fight kicks in. It's just amazing. It's very similar to the webcomic, this fight. Yeah, not many changes here, but it's amazing. Garo even like gets his ribs broken by Darkshine's immense power. Yeah, this is one of the best fights in my opinion. It's just so good. Yeah, we even get a little mention of Saitama's hole in his cape. Yeah, and it's just amazing. Garo's only getting faster and stronger as he evolves, and yeah, he starts to break his limiter. Sadly, the Viz translations just word it weirdly. Then we get a bit of Tatsumaki versus Psychos. Not too interested in that, but hey, it's not the worst fight for now. Like, later on in the manga, it gets really long and drawn out and boring, like the worst fight in the manga, or the worst fight in my opinion, but at this early stage it's pretty decent. Then we get a bit more of what King's doing. And yeah, here we find out Orochi survived a punch from Saitama and he's just absorbing all these monsters around him. But yeah, the conclusion to the Garo and Darkshine fight happens in the next volume, sadly. But yeah, it practically ends off with Orochi's heart just grabbing everything around them and Tatsumaki fighting Psychos. You make the little bonus chapters a little bit hit or miss. It's a bit more lore for the Hero Association, like, or the executives, like not even hero stuff. It's like just like the business sides to it, which is, it was okay. It's not the best to make, but But yeah, like I was saying, this is probably the best one we've had in a very long time, mostly just because of the Garo versus Darkshine fight, but also just because I really enjoyed the Saitama and Flash moments in this volume, and finally getting an ending to all these Class S hero fights and how they're being defeated. Like, no more 1v1s underground, because we're eventually going to be going to the above ground battles and the base lift, which is going to be really cool. Yeah, now we're finally getting Garo back and all this cool extra stuff. And yeah, really good volume, and I definitely recommend this one. Yeah. So that is my review for One Punch Man Volume 26. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you stay subscribed for more videos like this, because as you know, I cover all the new One Punch Man volumes and other manga that catch my interest. But anyway, I'll see you in my next video, and goodbye.